a new lawsuit coming with Jay. The part with Jay. I go, oh shoot, like.
To us,
That had to be there.
we getting tighter. You know what I'm saying? And united we stand. And ain't nothing else.
Jay-Z should be charged. Khaled should be charged. Rick Ross should be charged.
It's the billionaire, bro. She's like, I hate you, man. I'm unaware of anything going on here. This is the one time I'm gonna be with you this year.
It seems like 50 Cent isn't letting up on Jay-Z and Diddy, which has the streets buzzing. Maybe he just dropped receipts this time, enough to shake the table. 50 has been publicly scolding everyone who didn't speak up when Diddy was allegedly acting strangely behind the scenes for weeks. Some celebs tried to seem as though they had no idea what was going on, but 50 responded, "Nope, not get this straight." As 50 began hanging more receipts and named Jay-Z, he said that Hub didn't simply know he assisted in covering it up. Jay-Z immediately disappeared from the public spotlight without any announcements, events, or paparazzi. People are starting to wonder if the pressure is getting to him because he is acting sluggishly. If what 50 is saying is true, Jay helping Diddy hide all that stuff out here. This could be a lot more serious than we thought. Does Jay-Z really have something to hide? Or is 50? An increasing number of claims are being made as Diddy's trial heats up. When Cassie testifies in court and drops bombshells about what truly transpired behind those closed doors, you are all among the most. This is where things become murky because some of Diddy's supposed close buddies have been as quiet as crickets in the midst of all the turmoil surrounding this case, the arrests, the accusations, the lawsuits. During one of those so-called freak-offs, a male escort stood up and gave the court the unsettling testimony that Diddy had made him do specific things to Cassie. Not a post, not a voicemail. And the Diddy and Jay-Z have been tight for years, as everyone knows. Together, they have done business, called each other brothers, and of course, hosted the infamous billionaire brunch where they showed off their power and influence.
The game has been elevated. As we can tell, there's no expense being spent. We had a black billionaire's lunch. Yeah. You understand?
Right. Jay-Z is setting Diddy up.
He was gonna blow up his car allegedly, and so when they sit down at dinner, Kid Cudi's like, "Well, what about?"
Jay-Z is acting as if he doesn't know anything and has no support, remarks, or shade now that Diddy is under fire, but 50 Cent isn't having any of it. He just posted old videos of Diddy and Jay embracing and wrote, "Friends, you're still there, Jay, in the end. We blew up Kid Cudi's automobile to show him who's in charge." He brought up the well-known tale of Diddy allegedly becoming jealous of Kid Cudi's relationship with Cassie and sending a message by really destroying Kid Cudi's vehicle. For many years, there have been rumors that Jay-Z was engaged and even assisted Diddy in hiring the necessary muscle to carry it out. They are now facing the consequences of their actions, but Jay is charged with assisting Diddy in concealing additional nefarious secrets, including Kathy White's purported desire to come forward and disclose her affair, in addition to helping Diddy keep the Kid Cudi issue under wraps. She departed before she could say anything, presumably with Jay-Z, and guess who was left to handle it? At least that's the rumor that's going around.
Kathy White's true killer is going to be unveiled. And it's not a man. And that woman died screaming.
Oh, do you recall Jay-Z's previous bodyguard, Uncle Ron? People don't believe that he died of pneumonia, even though Uncle Ron was about to make explosive claims that would go public. He went so far as to say that Jay-Z and Diddy had offered him money to help him survive. Biggie Smalls, as you are all aware, there has been a long-running conspiracy belief that Diddy removed Biggie and continue making money off of his notoriety. Uncle Ron's sudden death from an unexplained pneumonia was a cover-up rather than a coincidence, as he was about to report to the authorities.
Nobody really looking into what happened to Uncle Ron. Why is nobody talking about the email that was sent to Tough News that stated allegedly Kathy White and Kim Porter were very much so in touch.
And the list goes on, people. Jaguar Wright has been accusing Diddy and Jay of being involved in a huge scandal for months. Kim Porter, who allegedly authored a book outlining everything she knew about Diddy but passed away before it was released, was even brought up by her. Jay reportedly assisted in concealing that as well. Heavy D is next, and we must not overlook Alb, who inexplicably went into a coma. Albie isn't keeping quiet now that he's back. He's openly stated that he's ready to testify against Diddy since he supposedly knows crucial details about what truly happened to Kim Porter and who helped keep it a secret. With a single name, the streets are bustling. Jay-Z
volunteered to testify at the trial, correct?
Not as of yet. Actually, I was subpoenaed.
Okay.
So my attorneys worked something out. So I believe when the time is right, I'm going to discuss it with my attorneys.
But you're willing to?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
Let's be honest for a minute. We all thought Kanye West was exaggerating when he said Jay-Z had killers. But after some consideration, it appears that he might have been telling the truth.
For example, when he felt the way about Jay-Z, and he went up on that stage right before he got hospitalized years ago when he was on a tour, and he says, Jay-Z wanted to kill.
Given that Jay-Z was recently defending himself against a terrible lawsuit, we shouldn't be surprised if he is connected with Diddy in any of this. As you may remember, Diddy was supposedly there when he was accused of having an affair with a 13-year-old girl, according to court filings and charges. The story goes that they both assaulted her together, but I'm not sure. People believe that Jay-Z used his wealth and influence to intimidate the victim behind the scenes, had people apply pressure, and had the entire situation swept up and thrown out like it never happened. However, the birds of a feather saying is looking really accurate right now. For years, these men have been flying in the same filthy skies.
Alabama woman who said she was raped by rappers Jay-Z and Sean Diddy Combs when she was 13 has actually withdrawn her lawsuit.
Despite Jay-Z's attempts to appear unconcerned, including attending the premiere of Mufasa, The Lion King with Blue Ivy, 50 Cent was not going to let that go unnoticed either. 50 jumped online and made fun of him once more, posting, Jay said they said I graded a kid. Everybody get dressed. We're going to see Mufasa, lol. As if 50 has no filter and no chill. He's not just in his trolling, he exposes hypocrisy and you all for allegedly playing with minors. Jay-Z has a troubled past as well. Let's not overlook the Foxy Brown claims. Jay-Z allegedly stole her V card when she was still a minor, and the connection was always strained due to the age difference and industry pressure. She was hardly legal at the time, if at all, when the rumors began to circulate.
Allegedly a romantical thing. It's all right. I'll say alleged, but we know. Yeah, she hit it before Beyonce.
Moreover, while we're on the timeline train, let's discuss Beyonce since, if you truly sit down and do the math, Jay began dating her while she was allegedly still a teenager. The media likes to say that the math isn't matching, reinforce the idea that she was of legal age, but the timeframes have been hazy, and once more, nobody wants to point it out because it involves Jay-Z and Beyonce, but we must discuss it.
I gotta ask. A lot of people think, yes, these two are together. What's going on?
Let's now examine Premier Satterthwaite's case. Ramir, Jay-Z's purported hidden son, has been attempting to obtain a DNA test from Jay for years, but Jay consistently dodges the question as if his life depended on it each time Rai approaches to provide proof. If the DNA test is positive, it indicates that Jay-Z had sex with Rai's mother when she was just 16 years old. This is why the records are suddenly sealed or damaged.
That Wanda told me that when he found out that she was with child, he came looking for her.
One furthermore, it seems that the list is constantly expanding how many warning signs do we really need. Let's go back in time to Jay's relationship with R. Kelly, despite rumors of Kelly's unsettling conduct. Even though it was well known that Kelly had married Aaliyah when she was 15, Jay-Z completed an album and tour with him, which caused a significant gap with Dame Dash, who wasn't cool with it at all. However, Jay didn't seem to care about morality, I suppose.
Yeah, when Jay did a project with R. Kelly, knowing that he had Talia.
This is when things get really sticky in a now deleted interview with Piers Morgan. And now look at the company he's maintained. R. Kelly and Diddy, both in the middle of similar accusations. But Jay-Z always comes out clean. After years of criticizing the business, Jaguar Wright made a shocking claim. Jay-Z was the real driving force behind the Me Too movement, ultimately brought R. Kelly down. According to her, Jay-Z funded some of it and even forced some of the women to come forward, not necessarily to seek justice, but to bury R. Kelly and preserve reputation. In other words, she claimed that Jay put Kelly under the bus so that he could remain unpunished despite having secrets of his own.
Spearheaded the Surviving R. Kelly campaign, which fueled the Me Too campaign. And that was all funded by Sean Carter to make sure that Robert Kelly went to jail.
And let's keep it civil, because even after all that tea we just spilled, some people will still come out here and say things like, oh, 50 Cent is just bitter. He's salty. He's mad he isn't in the real world. And the more 50 Cent prods, the more stuff comes up. For now, this sounds like a real-life scandal web with Jay-Z's name all over it. Billionaire Boys Club. All right. But let's face it. We all know that 50 has no love for Diddy. It's not even debatable. And it all began years ago when Diddy allegedly tried to take 50 shopping like a sugar daddy in an attempt to claim his new toy. 50 claimed that Diddy was becoming. In fact, he claimed that he nearly slapped him.
I'm like, what'd you just say? Let me move, man, before I do something. You're gonna make me mess up the wedding.
Oh, that's a nice gesture.
Let me get out of take me. That's what a guy says to him.
And ever since, whenever Diddy has been in the news, whether it's a party, a scandal, or an FBI raid, 50 is right there with a petty Instagram post, a meme, or an entire video that makes fun of him. He's been dragging him relentlessly like clockwork. And even when the feds raided Diddy's homes, instead of backing down, Diddy's own son chose to take shots at 50 as well. Let's be clear that these men are not cool, never have been, and will never be. And when 50 and Jay-Z are involved, there's an additional layer of petty behavior. Scenes. Let's discuss the Super Bowl drama so you can recall Dr. Dre, Snoop, and Kendrick's incredible halftime performance. Jay-Z, the NFL's music director, allegedly attempted to prevent 50 Cent from participating by telling them that the NFL had a problem with 50 and that he wasn't a good fit. Let's call it what it is. He was just being resentful and outright vindictive. Jay didn't like that 50 could make fun of him and his friends in public and still win, so when the chance to exclude him arose, he seized it.
They were saying the NFL has some issues with me that I don't know what those issues are. What is the issue?
50 is still clowning. A news report claiming that Bianchi's ticket sales were not as strong as they once were surfaced during the Renaissance tour. 50 couldn't help but jump on Instagram and post a screenshot of the headline with the caption, "It's getting real out here. Hey, the tickets aren't selling." And guess what's even messier? Jay-Z hasn't said a single word, defended Bianchi, clapped back, or even shared a quip on Twitter. Here's the thing. A week has passed since the Diddy trial began, and testimonies are coming in. Names are being dropped in court, and Jay-Z is nowhere to be seen, not even for a photo op. People are beginning to speculate that Jay may have actually gone into hiding, not just laying low but completely off the radar. Because, let's face it, if more victims testify and Jay's name gets entangled in this RICO-like mess, it's going to be ugly. Some sources are even suggesting that Jay may be planning to escape to a nation with no extradition laws. If he is subpoenaed to testify, it is not yet confirmed, but the rumors are already circulating, so when 50 Cent is out there posting and clowning and leaking, he isn't just stirring the pot. He's saying what the public already thinks, which is that people have been rooting for Jay-Z for years, wondering how he manages to avoid all these bullets while being so close to people who have fallen hard for it. Rumors of Foxy Beyonce's timeline. Since we knew something wasn't right with Rymir's paternity problem, I'd like to know what you think. Do you think Jay-Z is actually hiding something? Did Kanye tell the truth when he claimed that Jay had killers, and now that everything is finally making sense? Do you think 50 Cent is actually exposing people, or is this all just retaliation and old grudges? If you've read this far, please remember to hit the bell symbol, like this video, and subscribe so you don't miss a second of what's coming. Let's continue the conversation by leaving your opinions below.